talk about Friday the 13th Part 1. Everybody loves this movie. And I think that the people that love this movie, that are crazy about this movie, are not really looking at this movie. And they're just saying that because they're Jason fans or whatever. This movie is just okay. Simply put, it is nothing that special. I mean, it was really good for its time, but if you watch it now, it is really outdated. So, let me tell you what this movie is about. If you don't know Friday the 13th, first of all, if you don't know this, then wow, you gotta start watching some horror films because a lot of people know about this movie. But let me just tell you a little bit about it. What this movie is about is these camp counselors are trying to reopen Camp Crystal Lake, but what has happened is that a kid has died there, and it's been closed down for 20 years since the kid drowned there. Now what the camp counselors don't know is that when they try to open Camp Crystal Lake, they have been stalked, and each one of them starts dying one by a killer. The killer is the kid's mom. I mean, how dumb is that? The kid's mom, not the kid coming back to kill them, which you'll see later in the later Friday the 13th, which I think are so much better. Like Friday the 13th Part 2 is my favorite, and I like Friday the 13th Part 3, and they're really good. And then it gets really bad when it gets to, like, takes Manhattan and goes to hell. But yeah, this movie is overrated. I think it's good, don't get me wrong, but I don't think it's that great. Another thing I hate about this movie is that it's Jason's mom. It's a old woman. I'm not scared of her. You're supposed to be scared of this character. I just find her, I don't even find it funny or scary or anything. It's just, she's not threatening. I mean, I look at her and I'm like, wow, let me knock her cane down. I'll beat the crap out of her if she came to me. You know what I mean? She just looks weak. She looks old. I don't even know how she kills some of the people that she kills. So, that is another problem. The villain is not that strong in this movie. And for a good movie, you need a good villain. And I guess this sets up for Jason, but it doesn't matter. She is terrible. This was a bad choice, I think. I mean, yeah, they should have chose his mom. If they were going to do that, make her look scary or make her look threatening. But there's nothing threatening about her to me, at least. So based on all this stuff, I would say that this movie is a good setup movie. I would give this movie a 7 out of 10. Tell me your thoughts on the rating and what you think about Friday the 13th. If you're a Jason fan, tell me why you love it so much. I'm not a guy that's just like, oh, it's the original, you gotta love it, you know? I go by what I like, and for me, this movie was just okay, and a great setup movie, and nothing more. Another big problem with this movie is that it doesn't have really any memorable actors. Like, you know, in Nightmare on Elm Street, you have Robert Englund, you have Heather Langenkamp, I think that's how you say her name, not 100% sure. You have Jamie Lee Curtis and Donald Pleasence in Halloween, and that's what's great about those movies. They have at least decent actors. Not all of them are great, but they're decent and they're memorable. But there's nobody really memorable in Friday the 13th. Also, what I think is that this movie was outdated, and when I say that, it looks like a really old film, and it does not hold up anymore. You watch it now, and it's hard to watch compared to, like, watching Halloween or Nightmare on Elm Street. The time Halloween was shot before this movie, and it looks better than this movie, and that is saying something. I mean, it was shot in 1978, so it's 2 years before, and Halloween looks like, to me, it looks like 1990s, even though it's 1978, and that's how great it is, you know? And it still holds up for this time, and so does Nightmare on Elm Street, but this movie doesn't really hold up. But the next Friday the 13th Part 2 is so much better and does a better job with a better villain and a memorable villain and a memorable, you know, it just looks so much better too. So tell me your comments below. Tell me if you think I'm crazy for not liking this movie that much.